So here it is. We've had 2 wonderful days of competition at the Land Rover Burghley Horse Trials, but this is what it's really all about. The ultimate test of horse and rider, of speed, endurance, of courage. This is Cross Country Day, day 3, and you're watching today at Burghley. Coming up on tonight's show, Tina Cook takes you through all the highs and lows, the thrills and spills of Cross Country Day. We catch up with Salah Kara from the Urban Equestrian Academy, but first of all, let's find out a bit more about this ultra-challenging course in the company of Rosie Tapner, and with her, the reigning champion jockey.
Well, a man that we would usually see on a race course and not a cross-country course is champion jockey Oisin Murphy alongside me now. Great to have you here at Burghley. Is this your first time seeing the course?
It is. I've watched this competition on television a few times, but it's the first time I've been here. It's lived up to expectation. It'll be interesting to have a look around.
Well, we're at the Holland Cooper Leaf Pit, and I have to say, it doesn't look very intimidating from up here, but if we safely jump down, I mean, that is quite a jump, isn't it?
Yeah, particularly when you think where they will land. I think you said earlier they'll probably land around out here, and it's quite a leap, really.
It's quite a leap. Now listen, they then have to come all the way around here. Would you ever do this? Looking at this, would you go from flat racing into jumping these enormous fences?
No, I quite enjoy jumping big single jumps, not under pressure and on my own, but this doesn't really interest me.
Hate to say it, it's pretty much as tall as you are.
Well, whatever about the height, it's the width. Like when we search for where they have to get over on the other side, if someone comes down that hill very slowly and they end up with a very steady canter to here and getting close, they'll really struggle to reach the back of the fence, and that's a major issue with these sort of combination type obstacles.
It's a big fence out. It's a big fence out. Let's go and have a little look, because they then have to finish on the corner as well. Would you, thinking about it though, you're very good at speed. We know that on the flat. You're good over show jumps as well. Combining the two together, that's scary, right?
Well, it is. I mean, these fences have been developed so they're as safe as possible for the horses, but at the end of the day, they're solid. And a fence like this is obviously on the angle. It's a corner. You want to meet it in the skinniest part, so you'd love to take off somewhere back here, aiming for there, but most horses might take off here, and they really have to reach for the back of the jump.
Tell you what, you know more about cross country than I thought you would.
Well, we didn't walk the strides between each fence, and to be honest with you, we could do, Rosie, but I'd imagine, depending on each individual horse, there won't be any set stride pattern between a couple of fences like this.
No. Well, let's go and have a look at some of the other bits of the course. Well, we've come down to the Trout Hatchery, another fence on the course, number 10. Now, as a flat jockey, your only option is A to B and as fast as possible. Here we've got A, B, C, D, E, F and multiple different combinations. They're really having to use their brains.
Absolutely. The direct option, which is the trailer with the logs on board, the quickest way, is quite a big jumping effort with a steep drop into the water. The chances of a horse taking a false step are possible and highly likely, if anything. Straightforward down to a very skinny but wide obstacle, this brush hedge, which will take some jumping.
It's really wide. I mean, these fences, you know, you've not been up close to these fences before on a cross-country course. Just how different are they from when you see them on the camera?
Yeah, we get to appreciate it on television, but actually these people are walking through the water. They have a far greater appreciation, and these are stiff jumping efforts. Horses have already been through the dressage phase. They come halfway around the course. This is fence 10, and it's quite a stiff ask.
Absolutely. Now listen, the first fence we saw, you said absolutely never going around a cross-country course. Having seen this one?
No, thank you.
Well, let's go and have another look at another one. Well, fence number 17 on the course, this is the Defender down the dairy farm. I mean, this is huge. This is absolutely enormous. It's bigger than most dining room tables. I think if you were that side and I were this side, we need a megaphone to hear each other.
Quite a large obstacle. Tends not to cause any issues. Horses back themselves up here and get to the back of the jump without any problem. If they make an error, though, it's a massive jumping effort to try and conquer. The bottom line is this course causes plenty of issues due to the undulating nature. Big jumps and horses get tired. Fortunately, we've got the best riders in the business competing.
Well, listen, talking of the best riders, it's so lovely that two equestrian worlds are colliding, and you're very good friends with Oliver Townend. He's got 2 rides round this. How is he feeling? Have you spoken to him?
Oliver is very happy with Swallow Springs. The horse has been really competitive this season and consistent. I hope after dressage he'll be bang there with a good opportunity to win, and he can fly around this cross-country course and keep the show jumps up. I'm Team Ollie.
Oh, Team Ollie all the way for Oisin here. Lastly, we've seen the fences, we've seen a few of them. Can we persuade you to change from a flat jockey going as fast as you can to over these big jumps?
No, I really admire the eventers and their courage, and the horses are so well trained. But I stick to flat racing, and that suits me very well. I lack the bravery for this sort of test.
We'll leave them to it, shall we?
We will.
Let's go.
Well, I'm down here with Janelle Price, past winner at badminton, of course, and multiple medalist for her home nation of New Zealand. Janelle's husband Tim, he's just had his lead taken in the dressage, hasn't he, by Kitty King?
He has indeed. He actually tipped Kitty as one to watch, so maybe it's come back to bite him.
Yeah, normally when you do that, you're putting the bock on somebody.
Yeah.
But it hasn't worked on this time, has it?
Yeah.
But he's running through here. You've got your brilliant 19-year-old mare, Classic Moe, who won badminton a few years ago, and she's run really well around here a couple of times back in the day as well. I was kind of expecting to come down here and it be a manic hive of activity. And the pair of you are just sort of serenely carrying on. You can find a bit of downtime.
Well, that's because the kids aren't here yet. They arrive this evening, and then it gets a bit more chaotic. But no, we've had a few days childless, and it's been a nice chance just to settle into the week. And obviously Tim riding 3 horses, it's a big old week when you've got 3. I did it myself at Kentucky last year, so I have a true appreciation for what it takes.
It's quite intriguing because obviously you're operating here, broadly speaking, as a team, and you're sharing everything and your grooms and your facilities. And to what extent are you a team, and to what extent are you 2 individuals when it comes to competition day?
I'd love nothing more than to beat him, and he'd love nothing more than to beat me. But at the end of the day, we are very much operating as one team, and we'd love each other to win if we're not going to win. So it sort of has a funny old way of working out. The staff very much work as one team, although when we come to these big occasions, we'll take 1 girl each. That sort of is your primary girl, but they too work as one unit as well. And
do you approach competition at this level in similar ways, temperament-wise?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think so. We're both quite level people, I would say. We don't sort of go up and down. We sort of run a fairly level line, which I think has helped us sort of be the competitors that we are. And, we're a few years in now, so we know how each other ticks and how they operate best. And I like to think we sort of allow each other to, do that.
Classic Moe is the most exhilarating mare to watch across country. Give me a flavour of that exhilaration from your point of view. You're absolutely right. I think I won't ever sit on another horse like her across country at the end of my career. She is something else. Her speed, I think, is unrivaled. Like I said, I may be proven wrong, but I'd certainly put a good wager on it here and now that I'll never sit on anything as quick as her. Her determination, her intensity, her endurance, her stamina, she really is the queen of cross country. When you started riding her, did you think, I can't go that fast, or do you just let her play her natural game?
I very much actually sort of let her play her natural game, I guess. It suits her. That's the way she likes to run. She doesn't run that frequently anymore, but when she does, there's not really any such thing as a cant around. Even if you were to go out hacking, she wants to trot as fast as possible. If you were to canter, she wants to canter as fast as possible. Walking, everything is sort of done in fast forward. It is just her. It's what makes the dressage a little bit difficult, but you sort of learn to love her and love all the things about her.
And she's dragged herself from nowhere after the dressage right up the leaderboard, even to glorious victories in the past. So do you just stay fairly philosophical about that?
Yeah, I do. As I was saying yesterday, I'm a very realistic person in a day-to-day life, but weirdly I have this eternal optimism that I was going to crack the dressage with sort of these older mares that give me a bit of a hard time on the first day. And I haven't quite managed to do it, to be honest, but I always look at it as more damage control, just trying to stay as in touch with the leaders as we possibly can, not get too far away. The problem is the leaders are just getting better and better, and I obviously haven't been able to keep going in that trajectory also. So whether or not I'm a little bit too far off now, I certainly need the time to be influential come tomorrow.
So I'm just looking behind me. This bike's yours, right? Not Tim's?
Yes.
Is this indicative of your need for speed?
Well, it was actually my 40th birthday present from Tim, so maybe it was a sign. But no, it's good fun, and we are I always liken it to a bit of a travelling circus. We like to come with a few toys and props for these weeks away, and it makes for a good occasion, aside from the horses.
What realistically does the sort of short to medium term hold for Classic Moe? She's not far off 20 years old. How do you envisage the next year or two?
Oh, I think this will be her last one, but you never say never, and it's ultimately she's owned by a lovely lady, Tricia Rickards. It's going to be her decision as well. So we've always said we'll just take it one day at a time, and that conversation will come shortly, I imagine.
It is not a machine, though the precision of its mechanics can draw some admiration. Propelled by a unique movement, graced with a singular drive, it has a personality of its own. It was born from a special bond. Crafted over years with infinite patience and utmost care. Listening to every tick, going over every move again and again to build a trust like no other. The kind of trust that allows you to push further, higher, always. The kind of trust that can transcend any challenge.
Boodles, a family story. I think there's something really, really special about something that can be passed on, live and tell a tale to the next generation. So when you wear my mother's pieces, I get to tell you the story behind that, and you get a little piece of them and their history.
Welcome back. You're watching Today at Burghley. Loads more to enjoy during the course of tonight's show. But first off, let's head out and about and join Rosie.
Well, I'm joined now by Sala, who's a representative for the charity, the Urban Equestrian Academy, which Frieden Zampalada set up. It's so lovely to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about what the Academy do?
So the Academy work to get young people from the inner city into the equestrian world, generally people who've not got any experience with horses.
And why did Freedom set this up in the first place?
So his story is that his journey into horses brought him from the inner city into the equestrian world and gave him a life that he didn't think that was possible, and he'd like to give that to other people.
That's an incredible story from him. And for you personally working in this, is that your story as well?
So my story is a little bit different. I got into horses through the Equestrian Society at Leicester University, and then kind of had a break of not being around horses due to work, and then I heard of Freedom's initiative and his goals, and I wanted to give something back to the community, and getting to work with the young people and bring them in has been a passion for me.
How much does it mean to these young people to have this sort of scheme and academy for them?
It means a great deal. It's something that they look forward to, and they come as often as they can. So in their holidays they'll try and be there pretty much all the time, and they don't mind the hard work, because it is hard work that they have to do to be part of the academy. So it's definitely means a lot to them.
And have you seen it change lives?
Yeah, certainly I've seen it change lives. I've seen people get into the equestrian world and do things that you would never have thought somebody who came from that kind of inner city area would ever get into. So it's been pretty amazing to see.
It is pretty amazing to see, and it's pretty amazing for you to be working there as well, but also to bring everyone here today at Burghley. That must be so exciting.
Yeah, incredibly exciting. Most of us, I think all of us, have never been to an event like this before, and the kids on the way here are just excited. They just want to see horses, so we're excited to go and walk the course and see what we can see here.
Well, listen, enjoy your day. You very much deserve it. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
But what is today really about here at Burghley? It is the cross-country phase, and frankly, every man and his dog wanted to see how these top international competitors got on. Here's Tina Cook.
It's long been the most popular discipline here at Burghley, but after a 3-year hiatus, the returning fans lining the 4-mile course were keener than ever for a glimpse of their eventing heroes in action, and all eyes were on the hotly tipped Piggy March, the earliest to go of the overnight top 4.
The Defender at the dairy farm. So they've got this set up milk churns table, and then it is the banks. And so much of this is about knowing your route in advance, because you can't, when you come up on approach A, see B until you get to the top. You can't see C almost until you land over B. She's only 10 seconds down on the clock. If she was able to hold that margin all the way home, I think that's going to be a very good place to be. We don't know if there's a massive time difference between jumping the boat or jumping the alternate, but she jumps the boat. If it is of benefit, she takes that benefit. It's all about getting around this final bend, balancing and getting this fence right. It could be 1 second over, it could be inside the time. Vania Chimera, the best Burghley horse of all time, maybe 1 second over on a day like this. That is incredible.
New Zealand's Janelle Price and Classic Moe were another outstanding pairing, the first to make it round the course penalty-free within the time allowed. Things didn't go to plan for GB's Sarah Bullimore and Karue. Lying in third after the dressage, they chose to retire after an early run out at the Leaf Pit.
Oh, she just added a stride from the Leaf Pit to the first brush, which then put her to quite a deep spot. She went on one more than some of the horses have been going.
The informed combination of Tim Price and Vitali had been lying in second spot after day 2 and were looking to see the day out in similar style.
But I think the key is to try and get a pushing 5 strides to set you up for the 3. I think that's the key, which Tim has done, and beautiful.
Good man, and exactly as Janelle said, he had a travelling forwards 5 strides, jumped far out over that middle oxer.
Yeah, he makes a lovely job. I think that fence is actually ridden very well this morning, you'd have to say. He's going to be close to the clock here. I'm not sure how much we needed coming out of the Lion Bridge.
He would need 20 seconds at the second last. Well, the leader at the moment in the clubhouse is Piggy March and Vania Chimera on 23.0, but Tim Price, 13 seconds over the time, is going to just drop down into second, 26.5.
There was disappointment for 6-time Burghley champion William Fox Pitt and Oratorio. Another pair falling foul to the Leaf Pit. On a real mission, he's got a little bit close to that brush. Oh no, the horse has just nipped out on the right-hand side. It was a bumper round for Britain's Tom Jackson, who had previously been trailing down in 13th place. There had been high hopes for the overnight leaders Kitty King and Ventre Biette, but a pin break at the Fairfax and Favour boot racks saw them shunted down the standings.
Back up, this Fairfax and Favour boot racks, the coloured rails, a little bit of terrain in the middle, sit up Kitty. But that is frangible, so that's 11 penalties.
You know, and that has happened, and, you know, that will be 11 penalties, which was so frustrating. But the horse, really, it was very clear there. He just didn't, he misjudged the back rail completely. It was also an uncharacteristically tough day at the office for world number 1, Ollie Townend, on not just one, but both his rides. Oh, and the horse has just pecked on landing, and oh my goodness, how unlucky was that?
If Oliver goes clearing inside the time, he's well within a rail, and he is not going to be putting the pressure on Vania Chimera.
So the overall standings now see Piggy March perched at the top on 23, with Tim Price trailing by 3.5 in second. Janelle Price has been rocketed up to third place, with Tom Jackson in fourth, ahead of the show jumping phase tomorrow.
So that was a cross-country day with all the drama you could possibly imagine, but equally you could quite happily conceive of the three people standing next to me who occupy the podium with one day to go. Piggy French Vania Chimera been second here twice, fifth here once, leading at the moment. Tim and Janelle Price in second and third respectively on Vitali and Classic Moe. Tina Cook's been watching the whole thing with her eagle eye, a veteran of at least 20 Burghleys. You're loving this, aren't you? It's been a great day, hasn't it?
It has been a fantastic day, and we've seen such world-class competition. We've had a few unlucky mistakes, few tumbles. We always get that at 5-star. That happens. But these guys here, it's all about them, not me.
Massive crowd here as well, first Burghley in 3 years. And it's fair to say, Piggy, you and Vania Chimera, you delighted them today. And it seemed as though you were right in your rhythm from the outset. Is that how it felt?
Yes, it did, absolutely. I mean, she's an amazing little horse, and she's so gutsy and gritty. I was just laughing with Janelle just then, saying, it's pretty awful, isn't it, when you go around there for that 11 minutes, 21 seconds for me. You're in a tumble dryer, like, it is so intense. You don't think for a second. Everything is just so unbelievably quick and big and scary and so intense. And I can't remember most of the round once she got to the end. But I mean, she is incredible. She just digs so deep. She's got such heart, and just a fabulous little horse. It's just done so much for me and our team.
And between the two horses, 36 years, is it, between Chimera and Classic Moe? I mean, Janelle, that is pretty remarkable. That's really the story so far, isn't it? Two mares, 17 and 19, and laying the whole lot out there for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Pigs and I often sort of compare notes about these little mares, and they are similar in so many ways. Probably, Pigs won't mind me saying, probably not the most talented, but they've got huge hearts, incredibly determined, and just strong-willed mares that will fight to the bitter end, and they showed that again today.
Tim, I'm sure your admiration, because you see Classic Moe every day, is as great as anybody's. You wouldn't mind having mares as untalented as that, would you? A barn full of horses as untalented as that?
No, absolutely not. But it's difficult because you watch Janelle and Piggy go around on these mares, and you can't really use that as a reference because they're a law unto themselves. They're exceptional partnerships, both of them. And but yeah, what a great day for mares, eh?
And you're at the other end. You're bringing a horse through the grades, but right there and competitive as well.
Yes, and I'm really pleased with him because you set out, you've just got to respect the course first and foremost with a horse, especially with a horse that's inexperienced. So I set out to give him time to show him that the jumps are bigger than he's ever seen before, the ground's more demanding than he's ever seen before, and then he just kept pushing. I was able to ride him home with the stamina requirement he was right up there with that, so I was very pleased with the way he came home.
Janelle, we knew if you ran to form you were going to make the time, but I'm not sure, did we think you were going to be the only one that would make the time?
Look, no, I certainly didn't. And when I finished, looking down the sheet, there were some very fast horses and riders to come. But look, it is Burghley, it's 5-star, and like we saw at the end, anything can happen. We had a couple of pins go, the unfortunate fall of Ollie in the water. So yeah, here we are.
And your watch broke as well?
Yeah, I had no watch, so look, it was obviously meant to be her day. I'm so delighted for the mare, and to be the only one clear in time is no mean feat at 19.
Yeah, there goes that lucrative timepiece deal, I'm afraid, in a brace of fence 3. Piggy, were you quite surprised when you checked your watch at the end?
No, not really. I didn't. I was down at the 4 or 5 minute marker quite a lot, like 12 seconds down, and so I knew that there was actually, I didn't look at my watch once from then, because I knew it's really hard at Burghley if you're down quite a bit to make up. The terrain is just immense, and it's like no other place, no other event, no other cross-country course like it. And so it was just like head down, keep going, keep going. It obviously beeps at you every minute, so I knew I was sneaking closer and closer back to it, but I love 1 second over often, and so yeah, I did it well. But anyway, she finished amazing. She was so full of running. So yeah, we're just very proud of our girls, aren't we?
What do you think of the course overall, Tina?
I think it has sprung up some surprises. Yeah. When you walked it looked very intense in the first half, and I thought more horses we would get to the finish. And the horses did get tired. The ground was perfect, but it's that relentless galloping, as we keep saying, up and down the hills. So at 5-star, you're always going to have a few unlucky trips, a few unlucky people getting wet, and that was absolutely the case. Not everybody had luck on their side. But then equally, we still got the skill and experience still at the very top. Yeah, and eventing, of course, the sport that has made the word frangible famous. Thanks for that. But you, and I could hear in your voice when you saw Tom McEwen have the frangible pin down and get the 11, and Kitty get the 11 as well. I could sense your dissatisfaction, really. Well, I think it's part of our sport that the frangible pins are here, and actually on both those examples I think it did stop Kitty's horse from falling. For whatever reason, she came in the perfect pace, she saw a very good stride, the horse was on the way down when it should still have been up in the air. Why do we don't know why that happened, but I think if the pin didn't break, I think she would have fallen. Going back to Tom McEwen, I don't think that mare would have fallen. He just got a little bit close, she just caught it with her front leg and the pin came down, so that's more like a show jump, but it saved Kitty. So I think you look at it two ways. That's the way the sport is, and as frustrating as it is, it's for everybody's safety. And a lot of high-profile non-completions today as well. That freaky fall 2 out from Oliver Townend, who later got dunked in the water on his other mount, and William Fox-Pitt not completing, Zara Tyndall not completing. You guys as riders should know that events like this can always throw up loads of surprises, but were you even surprised by some of what you saw? I did actually think the course walked quite tricky. I did, and it's Burghley. We're just not used to this these days. I don't think so much. I think, yes, you would have liked to have seen a few more. There were some big surprises. We would have liked to have seen a few more big guns at the end when we're up at the top of the leaderboard. But it's just, it's just how it is sometimes. I actually haven't sat and watched anything. Once I'd finished, I put my head, I just have hidden in the lorry, just thinking, please everyone be okay, and just talking to other riders to say what I found. But I haven't watched it. I'm looking forward to getting back and watching it, to be honest. So Janelle watched a lot of it, including Tim. Do you find it quite hard to commentate on him?
It depends what he's riding, to be honest. But the first horse, I would have found that very hard to commentate. But actually, the second horse, he had it really was a beautiful round to watch, and it put you at ease watching it, I thought. So I was very confident with that round. And I mean, like Pig says, but I'm actually quite happy that there's not more big guns at the top of the leaderboard, if we're being totally honest here. You've all got to take your day when it's on offer, and for whatever reason, today was our day, and so you enjoy it, and let's hope we can jump some good rounds tomorrow.
Tim, how do you read tomorrow?
What we really want is the horses to recover well, and tonight to be an easy night so that they can just go to bed and have a good rest and come up in the morning ready to do a job for us. So that's sort of step one, and then from that, the icing on the cake is that we jump a nice clear round. So that's, I think, what we're all planning to do. It'll be an exciting day. We're also thrilled to be back here at Burghley after a sabbatical of 3 years, is it? So no, it's great, and we're like Janelle says, we're just so happy to be up in the mix to give ourselves a shot.
The crowd seemed at full throttle today. Can you really pay any attention? Are you aware of that as you're going round?
Yeah, and it's great actually. I love it. It's it gives you such a buzz from the moment you start, and you're coming into the arena and you hear your name yelled and cheers and lots of applause, and they get really behind you and they're so excited. It's a fabulous sport, and it's just great. For our riders to feel the support, it really gives you a boost, and I love it. I just think it's brilliant.
Okay, well, fingers crossed for you all tomorrow. Tina, you can assess the 1, 2, 3 here. Is it going to be the same 1, 2, 3 24 hours from now?
Look, I'm friends with those three. I'm not going to start falling out with them now.
I think between all three of us, we're going to get a lot of oohs, nahs in our jumping tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be clean sailing.
There's been nothing boring about this competition so far. I sort of feel like there's another twist or two in the
There won't
mix
be tomorrow. I think the crowd will be like, but anyway, it depends who's on the right side of the line or not tomorrow. I think it's.
It all sounds jolly now, but tomorrow in the warm-up they'll be eyeballing each other. Don't you worry. They are as competitive as anybody.
As if we were in any doubt whatsoever. Piggy March, Janelle and Tim Price, 1, 2, 3 as things stand now. Will it be the same tomorrow? Either which way, you'll be back with us at 8 o'clock on Today at Burghley on the final day as we wrap things up. You can tell still, so many people still here, really enjoying themselves. The steel band in the background there. Has everyone had a great day today?
Yay!
They have, trust me. We will be showing you every show jumping round tomorrow. 31 of the 52 that set out today go forward to tomorrow's show jumping phase. Can Piggy March and Veneer Chimera hang on and make it 4th time lucky here at Burghley? Find out with us then. That was Today at Burghley. Bye-bye.
I see your soul in a dreamy sky, and I am alone in this blue night. And in my mind, your eyes shine, and you belong to me again. I need your dreams, you must be here. I can't forget your fairyland. You've gone away before the night. I shouldn't say you are my light. It was just a funny life. You're not a good for just one night, 'cause my feeling is so strong. Now I really know that it's only magic love. I can find it anywhere, 'cause you're in a fancy world. I want you to
It is not a machine, though the precision of its mechanics can draw some admiration. Propelled by a unique movement, graced with a singular drive, it has a personality of its own. It was born from a special bond. Crafted over years with infinite patience and utmost care. Listening to every tick, going over every move again and again to build a trust like no other. The kind of trust that allows you to push further, higher, always. The kind of trust that can transcend any challenge.
Boodles, a family story. I think there's something really, really special about something that can be passed on, live and tell a tale to the next generation. So when you wear my mother's pieces, I get to tell you the story behind that, and you get a little piece of them and their history.